XRP increased by 200% this November. And if you are still not sure about the way forward, you should kick yourself and wake up and see what's happening around you. All these signs or indicators are popping now, saying XRP will go parabolic, not on a shorter time frame but on the longer time frame. So why do you and me think this is a major point in the XRP bull run? You would be asking, okay, what does this has to do with Ripple the company and XRP? Then I'll take you guys to this one. This is what it has to do with that. And when all of this is happening, you should understand the current market. Guys, all you need now is to ride this wave. Many waited for this for last 3 years just to get it to this point so that you can profit. And you will give up even before the race. That means you won't get that much profit. So if you are just taking out your profits at wave 1, you'll definitely miss wave 2, which will be the highest among the total 3 waves in the pump. Welcome to the Scientific Investor family, where we discuss crypto and science behind investing regularly. When I say Patreon, many of you guys think it's just marketing my Patreon to make more money. But look, this is what is happening there. I posted this one about Sikla, showing there is an opportunity we are breaking to the upside, and then this just happened. It's like 45% profit. Look at the time duration in between. So that's what we are highlighting there. And then Link. Many of you guys should be using trading Link. I highlighted that be cautious, it can go down, and then it went down. So you have to understand, this is happening there, and this is how majority are feeling. Say one of my Patreon actually, now that he's a top tier Patreon, so I actually contact him in person. He requests for information, and this is what happened there. I gave him some calls. I told this is my opinion, this can happen, and he instantly over that trade increased 4,000 units of XRP. That's not actually a bad deal considering the time frame. And then this guy, if you can see, he increased another 700 XRP. Now these are not small amount if you are looking at XRP units, because you are increasing it on a shorter time frames based on the calls which are being made on very short time. So if you can see here, it's made here by 12 p.m. and by next day early in the morning, it's done. So it's completely up to you. Now if you like the content which I provide here, and if you see value, you can hit that like, subscribe, and any comments you have, you can put that in the comment section below. Now the decision is always with you, right? What you have to do. But do understand before taking a decision, something like this happened last bull run, just before the last bull run, or just while it was happening at the initial phases. There was a lot of crackdown, the margin trades, leverage trades, and always stopped. If you look back in eToro, you will understand there used to be X5 for crypto, and when that rally started like that massively, majority kind of slowed it down. They put it just X1, and then now they offer X2. So there is a difference between that. They understand that this bull run, it's going to be even volatile than the previous one. So the decision is always yours. Why? Because if you get proper information about where we are going, that's going to help you a lot. Say, while this is for Link. Okay, while this was happening, I highlighted it to my Patreon select. Look for a break, because this is a symmetrical triangle. If it breaks down, it goes down. If it breaks up, it goes up. And then as it was breaking to the downside, I informed them it is breaking to the downside and gave them some targets, T1, T2, T3. But we were actually bouncing from T2 itself. So these kind of points are really important to know if you are trading at least short to medium term or medium to long term. Now, if you are a guy who's holding it for long term, these fluctuation doesn't matter. And then this one for Stellar XLM, it was actually creating a rising wedge, and as you guys know, rising wedge usually breaks to the downside, and as soon as it was breaking to the downside, I informed them. Now just below that you have the moving average, so it can act as a support and then bounce back up, retest this break. So if that retest is successful and it's going down, then yes, that's the retest and bounce down. If it is getting back into the range, then you have to understand the trend is changing. It should move above this resistance here. Now when you see patterns, you have to understand there are particular chances. Say rising wedge 65%, it should break to the downside. Now it all depends on which trend you are moving in an uptrend, you're getting something like this, that's bullish. So then we look at XRP, you kind of get a symmetrical triangle, and it kind of breaks just below that and bounces. So that is not actually a bad thing for that one. So what you have to do is always go into charts. Now remove all the indicators. Now it's completely up to you, and try to use longer time frames. If you are not a short-term guy, you can actually use longer time frame and reduce your risk. Now for those who are interested in trading it in short to medium term, I'm actually trying to help them with the charts and my opinion and what I see in the charts. But personally, I'll say reduce the risk, because this is a bull run. If you have patience, you don't have to take much of a risk to get that. We broke above this, we were below this for a long time, we broke above that, then we didn't even respect this guy here, we just went above. You can see that. So the price is pumping. If you move on to a daily, weekly chart, you can understand one thing, it's actually going straight up, right? It's not consolidating much, it's just going up. So if you are looking at a shorter time frame, yes, you will see a lot of noise, you will see a lot of volatility, but on a longer time frame you are safe, because if you are bought somewhere here, your average is somewhere here, your stop loss, if you are leveraged, is below this, then it's cool. But if you are trading in between these range, you should understand where the support and resistance of long term lies, where the support and resistance of shorter time lies. That should give you an understanding. Now if you are looking at it on a weekly, you can easily see that we went through that 0.775 range of resistance, which I told you guys that it's going to happen like that and we may correct back. Now if you ask many of my patrons, they joined Patreon because they understood that what I'm saying here for XRP is becoming true, and they wanted to get the same value for different assets. Now some of the assets, personally I have never even heard about that, but many are trading those, and I give them the technical setups for that. Some of them I personally don't trade because I'm not aware of the fundamentals of those, but majority of these guys have a lot of other assets in their portfolio. It's well diversified portfolio, so it's completely up to you. Now while looking at this, you also have to understand the monthly one, because that is what it matters, because you see just one candle pumping through all of this and we haven't closed this month yet. We still have room to go, like 4 days, we'll see what happens. So if you look at that on a monthly, you can still see that we are trending up, then boom, it went up towards this resistance level. So if you look at the previous one, yeah, we wicked a little bit at both levels, but just one candle up pushed it towards this area. If you believe it or not, you will see that again. And majority of guys, those who are saying to you it won't even reach above 0.5, it won't reach above $1, $3, you can see all of these guys changing their terms and conditions as the price pumps. Because if you look at the MACD on a monthly, I told you guys when we crossed to the upside that it's going to be pure bullish from here, because we got across on a monthly. Majority didn't believe when we were going down to bounce here, but we did bounce. Then now look at the RSI on a monthly, which is above 50, which is positive, but it's not just positive, it's moving towards overbought territory. Once it enters into that overbought territory, that's when we start the actual bull run. That means this is just the initial ignition point. That kind of a velocity is not yet entered the market, and once it enters, many will be really surprised that what this coin is able to do. Many will really be surprised, because if you see this, These are the fundamentals. On the positive side, now this SBI is not the SBI which you think in Japan. This is State Bank of India. It's in India. So that's a huge country in which Ripple has already created that infrastructure, the plumbing for moving money, the plumbing to move money from one bank to another, because the domestic friction is not that much in India right now for your payment. You have IMPS, which is executed say within 10 seconds, 15 seconds for domestic transactions. So it's cool, and the rate is free. So that doesn't actually matter much. But there are things which are evolving in which we can see that XRP is set to surpass Ethereum. Why? Say CBDCs are going through, they are looking at Ethereum, for a different use case, smart contracts and all. Right now, you have XRP ledger being connected to smart contract ability. Now, it can be through the Flare, it can be through Ripple Labs itself promoting other developers to develop on the XRP ledger. So they are all coming up with new projects which will be enhancing the utility side of XRP. And then we look at this one, right? We talked a lot about Chinese central bank doing this early, and then recently it's popping up like this. We were saying the same thing, but I don't know why the US regulators or the politicians were so slow to this, but they understand that it is going to be an issue for them. So they need to jump on to do this. Otherwise, they are going to lose what? The international trade. So the CBDC will be used for international trade. So it's not one world currency yet using the Chinese CBDC, right? So you'll need digital dollar, digital yen, digital yuan, digital whatever to trade between. And what will you require in between to switch from one asset to another, one CBDC to another? You'll need a bridge asset which should be neutral. Anyway, dollar is not going to believe yuan, or the Chinese is not going to believe the US. So they'll still need a neutral asset to bridge between them, which will reduce the friction. Now, what does Ripple, the company, and the chief executives, they think? The tweet from Wrath of Kernman is clear, and he has actually posted that. And only correction there is, the translation from the language there towards this is different, because, that was actually presented there. Now, if you look at that, it's XRP ledger. So it must be based on a bridge, not a wall. XRP and XRP ledger were clearly built for this role. So if Japanese central banks are going to come out and state that we are going to use or promote this technology because it's neutral and it doesn't hurt our monetary policy, the adoption rate will skyrocket from there. But you have to understand, CBDCs are not yet rolled out all over the world. It's just one or two countries who started very early and they finished right now. Others are really lagging. So that level of adoption or the real utility will take at least 3 to 5 years, because our governments are really slow. It's not the private sector, right? So in that meantime, we waited 3 years. Now we are having a bull run, say it will extend for a year. So that's like 4-year market cycle. So we should also have another 3 years from there going downside, correcting after the creating new all-time highs, and then another year of bull run. So at least we'll get this bull run and next bull run. So that would be 2 bull run, in which one would be huge, humongous utility bull run. So the prices which majority highlight may even be, it can really look teeny bit comparing the real utility if it is being used for this international trade between the central bank digital currencies. Now, XRP Crypto Wolf highlights this thing here. Bitcoin price now eyeing 20k. Okay, it doesn't much matter because it was already near 18k and it's still somewhere near. So it's not that big deal. It didn't fluctuate much. But yes, from its bottom, it did move towards 18k. Means it was around $3,000 in the bottom. And right now, near towards its all-time highs. So that's not a bad deal. But XRP and XLM really shocked the market. In just a month, it went around 200%. That's not a bad deal. In a week, it went around 150%. That's huge deal, right? So in this all season, if you say that it's not going to reach all-time highs, it's up to you. But when you say it's never going to reach that level, that's foolishness. Now, that's my opinion on that perspective. Now, market XRP is highlighting traders are buying XRP like crazy. And then you can see that the margin trades are being shut down. So you get easy connection between these. If you go and like personally, I can see most of the Patreons are asking, is it okay to use leverage? I have a leverage trade which is started here. Is it okay if it correct towards there? Should I add on to that position? So I understand that they are using leverage trades. I used to use that, but when the price was low, so my stop losses are really at the bottom, and I'm really sure that it won't reach that price. But right now, if you're putting leverage trades, it's risk on. Now, yes, risk and reward goes hand in hand. But if you can't control your risk, it is definitely going to hurt your portfolio. You'll lose that position. So first, understand your risk tolerance. It will vary based on your age firstly. Youngsters will be more open towards taking more risk. So the reward should also be more if it works out. Because when reward is higher, the risk is also higher. And the chances are you may lose that trade. So you should be on the winning side, not on the losing side, right? Now, when you look at the chart, say for example, you just look at the XLM chart. I took my profit out for some of my trading positions at around 0.22. Why? Because I felt like, yes, it pumped up. And if you really go up into that chart, say for example, if you jump in and take out the chart of XLM, you can actually see that it pumped really huge. Now that's on a monthly. I'll put it on a daily or a 12 hour so that it's clear for you guys. If you're trading this market, you should understand it already went up enormously. And then we are talking about taking profit. So that's, common sense. But the issue is, common sense is not the common practice. When the price is going up, the psychology is getting high and everyone is getting excited. That's not really the time to get excited. You should be using your cognitive ability to understand what may happen. And that's why I took out my profits around 0.22. Yeah, I didn't catch the exact top at 0.228, but 0.22 is not that bad for me. Personally, I believe so. Now, if it drops here, say around 0.19 or even 0.18, I'm okay, I'm happy, I'll buy that position again. If I see that the support is standing, the price is consolidating and it's preparing to move to the upside. Why? Because if you look at the moving averages, price went way above the moving average. If you look back at the previous bull run, you will understand what I am stating here. Because when the price goes parabolic, way away from the moving averages, it usually tends to come back and retest that moving average. Look at this bull run. During 2017, it used to pump way above the moving average, then slowly come near it, slowly touch back, go above, slowly come back, test it, then do that again. So for me, that makes sense to take my profits on my trading positions, not my investment long-term holdings. Because, trading positions allow me to make more profit and add on to my investment positions. But right now, I'm not adding much onto my investment positions because that will increase my average. And I really don't want to do that to XLM, XRP, because these can become really volatile when the manipulators jump in, understanding that there's a lot of guys going to be making millions in this market cycle. Hold your nerves while the market pumps. If you want to get an idea, you can just go and look at the altcoin market cap. Then jump in and look at the Bitcoin dominance. You will definitely get an idea. If you remember, we highlighted this previously that we are here, we are going to break this level and we are going to bounce. And we did that, right? And as I told, the price moved way above. It came back, retested that support level here. So we can't neglect the chance that it can happen again. You should be prepared for that. And that's why in our Patreon, I highlight as much as possible whatever I see for all the different assets instantly. We now have opened a new Telegram channel concentrated on our users so that they can get instant updates. If they require something instantly, I try to deliver it as soon as possible. Now, yes, there are times when I'm at my university, I'm doing my research, and it's a little bit delayed. But considering the YouTube channel, I'm mostly active on the Patreon and that Telegram channel. So if you want to access that, you can just check the link in the description. And if you saw value, if you did receive value for your time, you can hit that like and subscribe button if you haven't done that already. And if you would like to extend your support, you can use PayPal, Patreon, or the XRP wallet address given in the description. Now, say for example, if you just wanted to get another asset, idea about that, and you don't want to join the Patreon, it's okay, it's cool. You can email me, you can use that PayPal link just for one time, it's cool. So I'll meet you guys on the next video. Bye for now.